Teams and is also being live streamed. Today we are considering objections from the police and environmental health to a proposed 10 for Flat C, 6 St Michael's Gardens, London, W10 5SP. I'm Councillor Laura Burns and I will be chairing this meeting. I confirm I have no declarations to make in relation to this item. I'm joined by Councillors Lucy Knight and Toby Benton. Councillors, can you please introduce yourselves and confirm whether or not you have any declarations to make?
Hi, I'm Councillor Lucy Knight. I don't have any declarations to make.
Hi, I'm Councillor Toby Benton and nothing to declare.
Thank you. We're also joined by Dave Williams from the Council's licensing team, our legal advisor Horatio Chance, our committee officers Tommy Hamner, Yusuf Olo and Toyin Shobowale. So the election of substitute chair. A quorum for this committee is 2, as there's always a possibility I may lose connection temporarily during the broadcast. I am nominating Councillor Benton to be appointed as substitute chair. Members, please confirm whether this nomination is seconded. Councillor Knight?
Yeah, seconded.
Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. I confirm that Councillor Benton is now appointed substitute chair. Thank you, colleagues. Okay, some ground rules. Before we start the hearing, there are a few ground rules. Please make sure your microphones are on mute until you're invited to speak. Make sure mobile phones are on silent. Please do not use Microsoft Teams chat as it's not monitored. Everyone should have received the procedure for this meeting regarding the use of cameras and how to connect back if you lose connection. Thank you. Parties in attendance. Tommy Hamner, can you please run through the list of persons wishing to speak today? Tommy? Hello? Is there anyone wishing to speak today?
Yes, yeah, you're just there. Sorry, just a small technical issue.
Okay. We'll wait till that's fixed.
Hi, yes, so the parties today, so we've got the applicant Michael Sharman, we've got the responsible authorities, we've got Philip Richardson from the Council's Noise and Nuisance, we've got PC Donna Wilcox from the Metropolitan Police Service, James Rankin, who's counsel for the Metropolitan Police Service, and then we have council officers as well.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, the procedure of the meeting has been circulated with the papers. However, in summary, I confirm firstly the licensing officer Dave Williams will give a brief outline of the 10. Then I will ask the premises user, Mr. Michael Sharman, to present his submission. He will have up to a maximum of 10 minutes to do so. Questions may be asked of the premises user by the committee, the police, environmental health, and our legal advisor. Then I will ask Mr. James Rankin, counsel for the police, to present his objection. He will have up to a maximum of 10 minutes to do so. He is joined by PC Donna Wilcox, who may able to assist the committee if they have any questions. Questions may be asked of the police by the committee, the premises user, and our legal advisor. Then I will ask Philip Richardson for environmental health to present his objection. He will also have up to 10 minutes to do so. Questions may be asked of the environmental health by the committee, the premises user, and our legal advisor. Finally, I will turn to the governance to see if any issues have been raised and that we need to consider. There will be no summing up at the committee, and the committee will adjourn 10 minutes to make our decision. We will reconvene to verbally announce the decision today, and it will then be confirmed in writing within 5 working days. The full reasoned decision will be issued as soon as possible thereafter. I would like to remind everyone that the committee has read the papers which comprises in the main pack. So there's no need to repeat the content, but please do draw our attention to some points and pages. Okay, let's go. So Dave Williams, can you please outline the 10 for us?
Thank you, Chair. Good morning. We have before us today a temporary event notice which has received objections from PC Nick Gerry on behalf of the Metropolitan Police on the grounds of prevention of crime and disorder and public safety. An objection has also been received from Mr Julian Trill from Environmental Health on the grounds of the prevention of public nuisance and public safety. Mr Michael Sharman has submitted a temporary event notice for Sunday the 24th and 25th of August 2025 to use in the front area of 6 St Michael's Gardens to provide the sale by retail of alcohol off the premises during Notting Hill Carnival. A copy of the 10 and event management plan, including event risk assessment, can be found at Appendix A of today's bundle. Summaries of the objections can be found at pages 6 and 7 of today's bundle, and copies of both objections are attached at Appendix B and C. Relevant extracts from the Council Statement of Licensing Policy are attached as Appendix D. The premises are located in Gobourne Ward on the south side of St Michael's Gardens, situated on its junction with St Lawrence Terrace. A map of the area is attached as Appendix E, and a list of the licensed premises within the vicinity is attached as Appendix F. A map of the 2024 Carnival footprint indicating the parade route, location of sound system, bars, street trading sites, safe areas and other matters is attached as Appendix G. For clarity, Chair, this map is for illustrative purposes only, as the map for 2025 is yet to be finalised. A list of temporary event notices received so far for this year's Carnival is attached as Appendix H. This list excludes notices which have been withdrawn or issued with a counter notice. Some of these notices may still be under consultation. I'm not aware of any additional documents, and in determining this matter, the committee must have regard to the objection notices from the police and environmental health and take such of the following steps as it considers necessary for the promotion of the licensing objectives. The steps are: issue a counter notice if it considers it necessary for the promotion of any of the licensing objectives to do so, or take no action and allow the notice to have effect. This concludes my summary of this morning's proceedings, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now for the premises user case. Mr. Michael Sharman, please can you present your submission and advise if there be any additional documentation sent to the council? You have 10 minutes.
I don't have any additional advice to provide because I've only been given 2.5 days notice, working days of notice for this hearing. I was only told about this hearing on Monday evening at 5:30, and when reading through documentation, I was supposed to be given 10 days notice, 10-day working days of notice. I don't understand why that's happened. Has that happened to all the other parties involved? Because I've only been given 2.5 days of notice of this meeting.
So a licensing team, before we give him his 10 minutes, does anyone want to come back to him on that? I'm going to hold your 10 minutes, so don't worry, Mike.
Chair, it's Rachel Chance, your legal advisor.
I think that's a question for the legal advisor, Councillor.
I was going to say, perhaps if the licensing authority can confirm the reason why notification was given somewhat late.
Okay, so I think we're just because it is quite a last minute thing. That's what he's sort of saying, right? So anyway, Michael Sharman, if you could give us your 10-minute presentation. We have taken into account that it is last minute, but give us you know, all the information you can provide, and you have 10 minutes to do so. Thank you.
I'll try my best, but I haven't had much opportunity to prepare for this meeting because my father passed away last night, and I've been caring for him this week, and I wasn't going to prepare. I wasn't even going to show up for this meeting because of what's happened. I didn't get any sleep last night, but I showed up because if I don't show up, I know the meeting will happen in my absence. And I just think it's appalling that I haven't been given an appropriate amount of time. It's not even 3 working days. It's been two 2 working days of preparation. So how can I be expected to provide an adequate amount of preparation if other parties have been given an extended amount of time, more than 2 weeks, and I've been given 2 days? I think that's biased and unfair on my behalf, to be honest. On my part of things, I'll have to just speak on the flag. I haven't been given a chance to do much preparation.
Chair, do you mind if I just jump in really quickly? Just to say, Michael, if you don't mind me calling Michael, anything procedural we're going to be looking into that now. We have taken on board that you said that. So, but just for now, say what you can. We're giving you a fair hearing as much as we can. We're taking everything into account. If there's anything I want to speak out of turn. If anything does turn out to be out of turn, then we'll deal with that. But just for now, just know that we've taken on board what you said, and we'll deal with it later on. We can't address it right this second.
So could you clarify what I need to present, or if I haven't got any physical evidence? I'm sorry, I'm just really tired.
It's all right. I'm sorry to hear about your father, first of all, Michael, and I'm seeing if we can do anything to sort of help with this lack of time frame for you. But in the worst case scenario, you're here and you've turned up. So all we need to know is what you plan to do during those 2 days. What have you prepared for? What will it entail? So, like, you're going to have some people working with you, how they're going to monitor, the business, the running of the business for the 2 days, this kind of thing. That's what we're trying to find out. And have you done it before? All these kind of things. So just tell us what you expect to do on the Sunday and the Monday of Carnival, when you want to sell alcohol, and what else are you doing there? What else happens at that time? But take your time. I'll give you extra time. If that's okay. But just no stress. We're here, and we're here to hear what you have to say. So yeah. Okay.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying. Apologies for my lethargic nature. Okay. So for the carnival, I intend to sell beverages. Some will include alcoholic beverages, and I plan to do that towards the front of the building from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. because I'm aware that once at 7 p.m. all other locations are shut, food wise and sound systems. That's when they close down. I've intentions of employing several members of staff to ensure that there's a quick turnaround on purchases, and also to help with managing and instructing clients as they come and go from the premises. We have first aiders as part of our staffing team. My cousin is also planning to join us. He's a licensed security. I don't know if you call him a security officer, but he has a security license. We plan to apply signage and just to control the flow of clientele to and from the building. Procedures have been put in place to ensure that clientele do not block the pavement. So I know that was one of the issues that was raised by the Metropolitan Police. As well as that, low volume alcohol has been supplied, because I've also been instructed previously that it's best to be mindful about what type of alcohol is being served. So high volume beers, for example, would not be appropriate or acceptable during my procedure. And yes, I intend to sell soft drinks as well. It wouldn't just be it's not going to be somewhat of a bar where alcohol is going to be the main premise. There would also be soft drinks sold, such as Coca-Cola, water, etc. There's toilets across the road for staff so staff would be able to go have quick access to the toilets. We'd also have access to the toilet in the flat as well. Yeah, for what we're planning to do, I'm not sure if you want all procedures that are related to it, or if you just want a rough idea of what I'm intending to do.
So you're doing very well. You're telling us everything. So whatever you feel is relevant to the information, we will ask you questions as well. But tell us if there's anything you think you've missed, just add it. I shouldn't really interrupt you, but I'm giving you extra time as a courtesy.
Oh, thank you. What else are we doing? Yeah, for the most part, that is the most part of what we intend to do. I chose St. Michael's Gardens because that is where my auntie lives, and throughout the years of visiting her during Carnival, I find that that particular road is a quiet road. I understand the road that is around the corner, where's the Saxon Sound, that's a busy area because it's a sound system, but St. Michael's Gardens itself is a very peaceful road because it's not a main road like the Ladbroke Grove or the Portobello Road or Westbourne Grove, for example. So that's why that location was chosen, because it will be a less congested area. I had opportunities to operate on the Ladbroke Grove Road itself, but I turned those down because of concerns of high volume. It'd just be too much crowds, too much congestion. And yeah, from what I've read of the objections, it says that it's close, that where I am is close to the Ladbroke Grove and a sound system, but there's been no guidelines or numerical value of how close or how far a stall should be from a sound system or from the main street. There's no guidelines or evidence suggesting that St. Michael's Gardens is a congested area, because that's been mentioned. But well, what is that based on? Where's the report? Where's the findings? Whose opinion is that? Has St. Michael's Gardens itself been observed? I've not received any evidence of that happening, and there has been no guidelines or suggestions to go around the objections that has been made. I've been given objections, and the opinions of the Environmental Health and RBK, the Environmental Health from RBKC and the Metropolitan Police, is that it violates particular protocols, but there's been no guidance or assistance with getting around what's happening or their objections, and how I can improve or alter my 10 application to comply with their objections. So these objections have been made with no evidence, no numerical value, no reports, and there's been no guidance on how to improve on the situation so that it can meet what they feel is an inadequate 10 license. And I think that's all I have to say for the moment, because
Okay, well, thank you, Michael. So now we're going to ask some questions. So I'll get from the committee first. Councillor Lucy Knight, any questions?
Yes. Also, Michael, I'm really sorry to hear about your father, and thank you for coming today. And I thought you spoke very clearly about what you're planning to do. Just wondering if you've applied in recent years, or you've operated any similar situations in Carnival before. To start, my first start.
I myself haven't done any. I've done selling of soft drinks in
Mhm.
Carnival, but I haven't done selling of alcoholic drinks myself. But I have worked on stores at Carnival that sell alcoholic soft drinks
Okay.
for 2022, 2023, and 2024. So the 3 previous years. And this year, I was intending to venture off by myself to lead my own store.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I got a lot of the guidelines of what's appropriate and what's not appropriate, because I've had I've had input from others that have actually done it.
Yeah.
And I've gone on the basis of what they've done, and I've been told that, well, things have been shaken up this year and guidelines have become a lot more stricter, is the narrative that's going around.
Yeah. Thank you for that. And then is the property that you're using, or the space you're using, is your auntie's, or it's someone else's, or just understanding? I know you've explained why you've chosen that street specifically, but just to understand the property and whose it is.
Yeah, so the property isn't my biological auntie. It is my sibling's mother. So basically my half sibling's mother.
Yeah.
So growing up, I refer to her as auntie because I'm related to biologically related to her children.
Yeah. And then the one worry I had was just in terms of the steepness of those stairs, how you're going to ensure safety of, that's clearly going to be the comings and goings of in and out. And just over Carnival, how would you be going around kind of the safety of ensuring that people aren't falling down the steps, or just to talk to those precautions?
There'll be clear markings on the stairs to indicate entrance and exit, and we'd also have staff on the stairs as well to help ensure the safety of bystanders that are entering and exiting the building, basically. From my experience of selling drinks, St. Michael's isn't a very congested area, so I'm not expecting, a massive volume of individuals, just based on experience of. Well, I literally grew up in Carnival, so 30-40 years of Carnival. That's my experience. I'm aware of which areas are super congested. Sometimes a 5-minute walk turns into a 20-minute walk, depending on which part of Carnival you're walking through. But St. Michael's Gardens isn't one of those areas where your journey is, exaggerated, is multiplied several times over.
Yeah, and I guess you would have the same answer in terms of your event plan is saying 15 people maximum, how you'll enforce that and who will be responsible for managing that.
For management, that would be on me, because if it's my 10 license, then I would be literally the manager of the premises or of procedures that are happening. And similar answer, there would be staff available to manage congestion and volume. Of course, we're not going to allow 20-30 people on the steps, because it's going to get dangerous for both me, my staff, and obviously the public as well. And the last thing we want in Carnival is any incidents. That's why on my event management plan I also put, we're not selling anything in glass, because I've been in situations where glass bottles are getting thrown, and I've been a whisker's hair away from being injured. So things have been taken into consideration, and I'd rather pay money for staff to be present than to have my staff in danger, or the public in danger. The majority of my staff is going to be family that I grew up and care about. So I'm not taking things lightly with regards to safety.
Thank you. That's all I've got. Thank you very much, though, for answering.
Thank you. Okay, and then Councillor Toby Benson.
Thank you, Chair. Hi, I just want to. This is a little off the cuff, but I think when we're going through, I mean, as you correctly point out, we'll hear this from the later representation, that there has been a change in policy this year from the police, and some of this has been echoed by environmental health. But I'm looking at, and I think that those are things we'll bring up when with their presentations, when we speak to the police's Met's council. But when we have, I think one thing we were looking at is the method of sale, like the queuing system on the steps. Now, acknowledging that you've only had 2 days to look at this and you've had plenty going on, and again, I just want to echo what everyone said. My condolences and thank you for turning up today. Is there anything that you do to mitigate those specific concerns about queuing up on those steps? Is there another way you can see we actually have a something that would mitigate that, like safety concern about these steep steps, people coming up during Carnival? Is that something you feel like you'd be able to address relatively simply?
The other alternative is to have the queuing system back into the hallway of the flats, so that, you know, if the committee feel that queuing up on steps is the primary issue of the 10 license, then it can be mitigated by backing up into the steps. There is a large flat landing on the top of the stairs as well. Regardless with ideas, aside from having staff available to control the volume of people on the steps and to ensure correct guidance going up and down the steps, I don't see any other alternatives unless a ramping system is put in place. But I would imagine that a ramping system, putting a ramp there, would make it even less safe than having steps, because steps are a lot more steady. With ramps, you're standing at an angle. I have thought of many different ways, and yeah, having staffing or either backing into the corridor seems to be the two main ideas that I have in mind. But I'm willing to hear anything from the licensing committee, or not the licensing committee, sorry, the environmental health or the Metropolitan Police, on any suggestions to mitigate these circumstances.
And that's it. Thank you for that. I'm also, and I may be preempting slightly, please forgive me, other people making representations in the future if I am. I understand that that is like there is this issue of for those authorities, for indoor versus outdoor being making a big difference. So I just want to sort of put a pin in that for later questions to the authorities who are objecting, that there's the possibility of moving the actual sales indoors, if I'm understanding you correctly. I mean, the possibility, I'm not holding you to anything now. Is that fair?
So are you asking me if it's fair?
Well, I'm asking you if what I'm saying is fair, that there's this possibility, not holding you to it, but there's a possibility to talk about moving some of the operation actually inside the hallway or the corridor.
Yes, that is an avenue that I'm willing to explore if the relevant parties feel that that would be a suitable solution to their objections. I haven't received any solutions, so at the moment I'm just working on my own mind rather than their suggestions, because they haven't provided any assistance.
No, I get you. It's yeah, I understand the situation for the short notice and all that. Thank you. Anyway, thank you, Chair. That's my question for now.
Okay, thank you. I'll ask a couple. Will all your staff, how many staff? You said you're going to have like 4 staff, I think, correct me if I'm wrong. Is that including the SIA, the security guy, or is it, how many security guys will there be? And then also, are they all trained in like Challenge 25 and how to see if someone's too intoxicated? And what will you do in that situation if you come across a drunk person that maybe managed to get in the queue and they're on the stairs causing havoc? What's your plan of action?
Those are quite a few questions there. Right, so there would be one trained security staff there, and he would primarily be on the steps to ensure direction. Not all staff will be trained. I think, was it M25 that you mentioned?
Yeah, basically Challenge 25, you know,
that's
to make sure everything's old enough.
Sorry, M25, I'm thinking about motorways. Yes, Challenge 25, there won't be, he will likely be the only staff that's trained in that procedure. The number of staff, I can't remember how much I wrote on my risk assessment, but you
said you have 4. Sorry, you said you'd have 4. I don't know if that's at any one time, or are there more sort of whilst someone's taking a break, or will that go down to a lesser number if someone is taking a break?
The likelihood would be that it would likely be myself plus 4 members of staff. So one would be security, it would be myself and another managing orders, and then you'd have 2 other members of staff present to assist with flow of volume of individuals plus the flow, because you'd need someone at the bottom of the stairs to instruct, you know, we're not taking any more customers at the moment. You'd need security on the stairs to ensure flow, and then if he's on the stairs, he would have a good visibility of what's happening on the pavement as well. And then you'd need 2 people, at least 2 people behind the service point, so that drinks can be served quickly. Working with others previously, I find that was a top priority, getting things done quickly to avoid, you don't want large queues, because if you just got one person behind the service area, they can only do so much so quickly. And and another point that I haven't mentioned on the event management plan that I've thought about recently that I'm intending to do is have all drinks served in bottles rather than pouring off cups. Previously I was thinking about pouring it in cups, but I'm intending to have everything in bottles now, so that they can be distributed quickly, because handing someone a bottle is a lot quicker than pouring it into a glass and handing it over to them. That will also avoid spillage on the stairs as well. So that's a new amendment that I was intending to implicate.
Okay, thank you. And these bottles will be plastic, I assume, right?
1000%. Like I said before, I would never, because, you know, like stuff like Magnum drinks are very popular, but that's not something that I would want to do, because glass and Carnival just does not mix. I've stepped on more glass bottles than I can count at Carnival. It gets a bit much.
Okay, and then also, can you just run me through the runnings one more time? You did kind of mention it, but like, how is the queuing system going to be? So is there going to be a queue on the flat, like on the pavement, and then someone's going to let 1 or 2 people in up the stairs like that? And then, so there's always only ever like, can you just elaborate just a little bit more? I know you have mentioned it, but just for us.
Okay. So the idea is for individuals to come up the stairs on the left-hand side. We'll have either a line of tape, or if we can, we'll have those, you know, those metal poles, and it's got the rope going in between them. I can't remember the name of them. But either way, we'll have a system to ensure that customers are coming up on one side of the stairs. and then coming down on another side of the stairs, just to make sure that there's a flow. And there's not people trying to walk into each other. There's, you know, up here, down that way. If the stairs gets to a point where it's congested, or we feel that the volume of individuals on the stairs is too high, the staff at the base of the stairs would then be instructing people, we're not taking any more customers at the moment. So they would be disbanded or discouraged from queuing up, because there's no point. If there's high volume of people on the stairs, then that's it. We can't deal with anybody else until the stairs is cleared, and yeah, there's space to operate safely, basically. That's about, I can't.
Okay, so just for clarity, so if it becomes extremely sort of congested, or there's more people in the area and on the pavement, you're prepared to close down business until there is a clearing, till it's not busy?
Until the stairs have been cleared, which is manageable, because you'd have people at the bottom to ensure that happens. And sorry, I'm rambling a little bit. Yes, the answer is yes.
Okay, thank you. That's all the questions I have at the moment for you. Thank you very much. Now, any questions from our legal advisor?
Thank you, Madam Chair. No questions as such, but I would like to pass my condolences on to Mr. Sharman. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, any questions from the police?
No questions, thank you.
No questions.
Okay, and then any questions from environmental health?
No questions.
Okay, thank you. Now for the police objection. Mr. Rankin, please, can you present your submission? You have up to 10 minutes to do so.
Thank you. My condolences also go to Mr. Sharman. Insofar as the police objection is concerned, you will have seen the articles in the press. It's no exaggeration, it's not hyperbole to say that Sir Mark Rowley, the Commissioner, has extreme concerns about the carnival. As it gets larger and larger, it becomes, in his view, worse run. There are fewer resources for the police to deploy to the carnival. There are fewer stewards. And historically, the police have always had a permissive approach to these applications for TENS. We've had a rethink, and this is the view that we take. The carnival, particularly with Notting Hill Carnival Limited, is 363 days in the planning. And the police work really closely with Notting Hill Carnival Limited. They produce a rigorous and extensive event management plan, which covers off every eventuality, every conceivable risk. The only risk that they cannot cover are the impacts of TENS, because we never know where they're going to be. We never know the capacity for them. We never know who is going to be running them. And so the event management plan for the carnival doesn't take these into account. I cannot say that the grant of one temporary events notice is going to adversely impact on carnival. What I can say, though, is this, that the widespread availability of alcohol, the positioning of these temporary events notices and locations prevents the police properly addressing their duties. Now, when a temporary events notice is objected to by the police, it isn't an arbitrary decision taken by one police officer. In the police room, there is the combined experience of 150 years of policing carnival. These years of experience are applied to each application. And I wouldn't want it thought that the police just arbitrarily object to every temporary events notice. We don't. To date, there are 49 temporary events notices which we have not objected to. But those that are in sensitive locations, those that are near the carnival footprint, those that are close to crime hotspots, and remember that there's a myriad of crime that is committed at carnival. At the higher end, murder, at the lower end, theft, and in between there's sexual assault and any manner of public order offences. The nearer these applications are to sound systems, the greater the concern. So what happens with applications such as Mr. Sharman's is that they create pinch points. We want nothing to impede the flow of pedestrians up and down these thoroughfares. And it is incorrect to classify St. Michael's Gardens as some sleepy backwater, because they're not. They are part and parcel of a location which is between Ladbroke Grove, the main route for the carnival, and Lawrence Terrace. And for those of us, and I include you in this, those that have visited carnival during its height will know precisely what I'm talking about, because all it takes is one temporary events notice with a queue outside it to impede the flow. So this is a case in point. The map at page 39 indicates the proximity of Mr. Sharman's application site to the carnival footprint. Saxon, the sound system, there we go. Well, obviously this is representative only, but so whilst we're identifying the exact location, I know it's terribly difficult with these things. It may be that there is a better map.
I think if you go down a bit, it's a
yes, there we go. So that one. So St. Michael's Gardens, there stands the application site, the blue square there. And the sound system is just around the corner. And you will see its proximity to Ladbroke Grove. It is an area which is extremely congested. And I'm afraid that there is nothing that Mr. Sharman can do that will allay the police fears. The concern that we have, I mean, it's not simply the fact that it's upstairs. The question of queuing and addressing the queues is aspirational on Mr. Sharman's behalf. But whilst in theory, to have a queue starting on the left and exiting on the right is a sensible approach, that in practice, what we know is that that queue will not take any form of orderly progression. So that is our concern. We've identified the extracts from your licensing policy that we place emphasis on. In particular, 25.11, and I'll just read that out. I know that you've got it and we'll look at it when you retire. The licensing authority will consider the importance, significance and potential consequences of disregarding any evidence provided by the police or environmental health officers or other competent bodies when considering contested licence applications and TENs. We are, according to the DCMS guidance, your primary source of intelligence on matters of crime and disorder. And when the combined experience of a number of police officers who have policed this carnival for many years are saying to you, please do not grant this temporary events notice, please issue a counter notice, then that we would suggest is the voice that should be listened to. So there we have it. That's my objection. I've got Donna Wilcox who can assist with any questions, but I was going to leave it there.
Okay, thank you. Right, now any questions from the committee? Councillor Lucy Knight first.
No, I've not got any questions. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. And then Councillor Toby Benton. Toby, any questions?
Hello.
Okay, thank you. I have one actually. Just when it comes to St Michael's Gardens, what is the, going back to you know, the congestion? What has it been like in the past sort of 3 years or so in that particular area? I understand there's a sound system. Yes, I heard all of that. But what's the congestion like?
I can't answer that specific question. What I can say to you is that where St Lawrence Terrace is, where the sound system is based, there are thousands and thousands of people. PC Gerry has obviously, within his objection, Madam Chair, has shown a photograph. We're really concerned, as Mr Rankin has said, about the footfall and the numbers of people that will go through that area down to Ladbroke Grove, which, as you know, is the actual route. I can't give you a specific figure of how many people will be in that area, but suffice to say there will be thousands of people.
Okay, thank you. And then also, I do think James did say that there wouldn't be anything that Michael could do to rectify the situation. However, is there anything you've heard in his presentation that would ease your mind at all, either of you? You know, having SIA controlling the people, not serving if it is too congested, shutting down business, you know, as a duty of care and all that. Anything, none of that help at all for you?
I'm afraid, Madam Chair, there is nothing, sadly, that Mr Sharman has said that would change our mind, unfortunately. So apologies.
Okay. All right, there's no further questions from me. Toby, did you have something? You can put your camera on, so I'm just checking. I
did, yeah, thank you. I lost sound for a moment. I was just fiddling, so apologies, yeah. I do. It's let me see if I can find an economic through line through this. So I mean, obviously we're instructed to take every case on its merits. So when I hear, I can't say that the granting of 110 will adversely affect Carnival. I wonder about that, which just brings us straight on to what we were just talking about. And apologies if I missed part out. I'm really just want to focus on some of these things because it is, I think it's important to think why we're here. So, given, as Mr Rankin correctly says, the police are sort of the authority to take you know the most seriously in this sort of objection. Well, that's fine, but I mean, we are elected representatives. We're not. This isn't sort of technocratic in that sense. We're not here to just take instruction and sort of passively. We're sort of here to reasonably interpret the licensing aims and look at the evidence in relation to that and come to our conclusions. Which is why, again, I've asked this in previous TENS hearings. I have no idea where this information is coming from. I have no idea what the Met methodology, or if it is from the Met, if it's from somebody else, what the actual methodology, what the actual measurement is. And I've had this with PC Perry in previous hearings. I don't, I don't have any confidence in it, and frankly, reasonable minds may differ on this. I don't take it as read when we have no information. So I'd like to. I'd like you to convince me that the evidence that you're bringing forward, and in order for that to happen, I'd like to know where it's coming from, where this analysis is coming from. I mean, anecdotally, my experience of Street actually is more in line with the applicants than the police's. Now, that's just my experience. I, like the applicant, grew up on the Carnival route. I still live on the Carnival route in a different part of the North Kem. That is not an area I would be concerned about. And it makes me more concerned that I hear no evidence other than people from the Met saying, well, no, trust us. So I'd really like you to put my concerns to rest. Where's this coming from?
Can I deal with the DCMS guidance first of all, because you are compelled to take the DCMS guidance into account. You shall take it into account. And the DCMS guidance identifies us as the principal source of intelligence on crime and disorder. And I'm not suggesting that you have to rubber stamp everything that we suggest, but what I do suggest is this, that if you wish to depart from the DCMS guidance, if you wish to depart from the experience of the officers who are urging you to issue a counter notice, you have to give full reasons for doing so. Your second point is this, that anecdotally, you, having grown up on the Carnival route, see St Michael's Gardens as less congested.
Sorry to interrupt. That's not really my point. My point is that I haven't seen any evidence. I don't know where the evidence is coming from, and I've asked many times, and I'm not getting it. That's actually my point. Is if you forgive me for interrupting, that is I have nothing but a say so, and having inquired, have not been told anything further. So I'd like that. I would like that information. I'm not trying to oppose it out of hand. That gives me more concern the more times I ask. So that's my point. I mean, anecdotally is a side issue. We also have it that all of those streets are having TENS objected to if they're outdoors. But I actually have a follow-up question, which I'll leave for now because, again, I somewhat rudely interrupted you, Mr. Rankin, so please continue.
Okay. So insofar as the location is concerned, we take a number of factors into account. We take into account its proximity to the Carnival route. We take into account what is proposed, if it's an outdoor facility. We take into account the streets themselves. We take into account the experience of officers. We take into account the crime statistics and whether the application site is proximate to an area where historically incidents of disorder have taken place. And then we apply our minds to what the consequences would be of blocking the pedestrian thoroughfare. What the consequences of that are, in the view of the police, is an inability to police the Carnival to the extent that we would like to do it. Our overarching concern is to make sure that everybody has a safe Carnival. Now, we know that that's impossible to achieve, but what we're trying to do is our level best to use every tool in our box to ensure that the impact of the Carnival from a prevention of crime and disorder objective is lessened. That is the reason that we object, and those are the factors we take into account.
Understood. Thank you. And I will. While I mean, this is all things we will consider. The question I did want to ask before my moment is gone. Is again to drill down, because you actually have answered this, and I appreciate this, but I would like to be very, very, very clear, because again, I understood that the operation being outdoors was the major factor that would see an objection to a 10 on these streets, whereas ones would be granted if they were taking place indoors. I mean, what is it? And you know, while the applicant has said he'd certainly consider bringing at least part of the operation indoors, is it just that that's not just what's the reasoning that there's no way to you know, change the operation such that it's acceptable to the Met?
Each application is dealt with on its merits, and you would have dealt with other applications where police concerns in other locations where police concerns could have been allayed by the provision of an indoor facility. A shop, for example, in a particular location that was dealt with, I think, last week, fears could have been allayed by that being an indoor operation. This is an entirely different kettle of fish, and there's nothing about the application, be it indoors or be it outdoors, which allays the police concerns.
Okay, well, that's news to me, but I do appreciate that. I suppose if no one else from the police wants to speak upon that, then that's my answer. Thank you very much, and thank you, Chair.
Well, no, I wouldn't want it just to be me. Donna.
Yes, I was just going to. Thank you, Councillor Benton. Just so I can sort of allay your fears, each application, as Mr. Rankin has said, is treated on its own merits. We have to consider all of the things that Mr. Rankin has discussed. When we have that application that comes through, we're sat around a meeting every morning and we go through the application. Unfortunately, in this instance, it was on a set of steps on the outside of the premises. The applicant hasn't been in touch with the Notting Hill Carnival Limited. This is an independent temporary event notice, and as such, we have treated it as such. I know that PC Gerry had liaised with Mr. Sharman during this process and has obviously put the objection together. I don't believe, and unless Mr. Sharman can come back to me, I don't believe that Mr. Sharman has added anything else since the objection went in to suggest anything that would allay his fears. So unless I won't say anything more than that.
Okay, no, I appreciate you jumping in there. And just I suppose so, it's in the conversation. I think, especially given the Met's sort of shift in policy, I would hope to. I suppose partly because I represent lower down from here, the Colville area, so I will just like to sort of note that it would be nice to foster kind of relations with Notting Hill Carnival Limited and people wanting to apply 10s in advance like they do with sound system licenses. I think in the future that would be a good tack to take to you know, avoid situations like this. Anyway, thank you very much for your
no
answers.
problem.
Thank you. Yeah, just to follow on from that, I think it would be great if all of these 10s that have maybe worked in and around Carnival for many years or whatever had a good rapport. There was a way that they could sort of liaise with Notting Hill Carnival Limited, so in future years they would be considered on the footprint. That would be kind of cool. So I don't know how that can be arranged. This is just to sort of follow on from what Toby just said, and also following on from what Toby just said, if it's possible in the future again, to just have maybe some a bit more evidence in the pack from the police, like maybe, for example, the crime stats or something, or it's street by street or however you do it. I know that's maybe a bit extra work, but it's just an extra page to add, so it can kind of give us a bit more meat on the bones rather than just a straight out no. You know what I mean? I think that could be quite helpful, just as a takeaway. It's not really got anything specifically with this case, although it is a thing that we're working with. That's what I would like to add. Does that sound good? Would that work for you? Would you be able to add that in the future?
Madam Chair. Yeah, Madam Chair, I will certainly feed that back. What I can tell you is that as of last year, in 24, there was 330 arrests, there was 8 stabbings, and unfortunately there were 2 fatalities. So apologies that wasn't put in this, but of course what I must stress is that that is across the carnival over the 2 days. That's not specific to this area, obviously.
No, that was actually on my doorstep. So.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it would be interesting if there was a breakdown of smaller areas, maybe not street by street, but like, you know, sections or something, just so we can really get a clearer picture. Obviously, we do take your advice. We take everyone's, you know, all the information that is given to us. We really ponder it, look over it, and try and get the best out of it. So that would be helpful. And then, yes, going back to our applicant for future reference, whatever happens out of this one, if you can try and build a rapport or somehow get in contact with Notting Hill Carnival Limited, then you could maybe actually work through that year, and if this would be you wouldn't be in this last minute predicament. That could be helpful too. Anyone else got anything to say before I move on a bit? We've got more questions coming, but councillors? No? Okay, perfect. All right, so now any questions from our legal advisor?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just to echo what Mr. Rankin said in relation to their duty under the Act, the police are considered the experts when it comes to crime and disorder matters, and Section 182 guidance is specific in that regard. But in relation to the evidence you've heard orally this morning as part of this hearing, you must attach whatever weight you deem necessary. But the reasons given by the police seem justified in their reasoning.
Okay, thank you. And now any questions from the premises user? So that's Michael. Any questions from you?
My question is that out of the 330 arrests, 8 stabbings and 2 fatalities, did any of them occur on or in close proximity to St. Michael's Gardens?
I think just to clarify that I did mention that was across the carnival for the 2 days. So I haven't got anything specific, Mr. Sharman, for that area today.
Okay, thank you. My second question is, how close to a sound system is too close to a sound system? Because it's done on a case-by-case basis. What is the measurement of the property to a sound system, and what is deemed as too close to a sound system or to the carnival route?
Well, again, all I can say is that each application in the morning, when these applications come in, they are considered. It was looked at where the location was. It was just in the next street, which was St. Lawrence Terrace, and that was deemed very close to a sound system where there would be a huge footfall of people.
All right, and probably my final question. So, just to clarify, the objection that's been made isn't based on any photographic evidence, video evidence, any numerical values. It's simply based on looking at a map and judging it as too close to a sound system and the carnival footprint. Is that correct?
No, that's not correct. We would say that with the experience that we have had in previous years, that police are concerned about the high level of footfall. Also, further to that, we just want to highlight, as Mr. Rankin did, was that the Commissioner is extremely concerned about crushing. That has come through, quite a lot this last year. And as a result, we're asking everybody to participate in making sure that it's as safe as possible, to have a safe event. We're not here to shut The police are not here to shut this event down. They are purely here to make sure that the public have a really safe event.
Okay, and the volume of footfall for St. Michael's Gardens, there's no report or evidence or anything to suggest that St. Michael's Gardens in particular has a heavy footfall or is at extreme risk of congestion. Am I correct in saying that?
No, police believe there will be a heavy footfall due to a sound system being in one location and Ladbroke Grove being at the other end. We believe that there will be a huge footfall going through your area. Okay,
but belief is not evidence, I believe. I'm not an legal expert, but belief and evidence are two different things. Okay, that's fine. I don't have any more questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, now for environmental health subjection. Mr. Richardson, please can you present your submission? You have up to 10 minutes to do so.
Thank you, Chair. Firstly, again, like the others, I'd just like to offer my condolences to Mr. Sharman. Yeah, it must be difficult for you to be here this morning. And secondly, thanks to Mr. Rankin. Again, I seem to follow Mr. Rankin in every meeting, and it's he does my job for me for most of it, so I won't take up too much of your time because I'm very aware we're supposed to have another hearing in 12 minutes. As has been said already, there's well-publicised concerns in relation to crowd safety at Notting Hill Carnival, reported by the police, council officers, and it's also in the press a lot at the moment. Again, same as the police, we look at each 10 application on its own merits on a case-by-case basis. But again, we're considering the wider context across the carnival footprint in relation to public safety and public nuisance, amongst many things. We don't want to maintain the status quo of previous carnivals. We're looking to try and improve safety for the public every year based on previous carnivals. And if we can just every year just get a marginal gain in that safety, if it makes something 1%, 2%, 3% safer every year, then that's going to be better for a carnival as a whole. Yes, as the applicant has said, we don't have any particular specific evidence that this specific locations caused or undermined public safety issues in the past, but like I said, we're trying to improve every year. This area is obviously a very congested area as well. Would it be possible to get that Appendix E back up on the screen, please? It's just, I know we've spoken about one particular sound system, but there's a few other things that are in the area in close proximity. It's the other one, I think, Appendix E. Probably near the bottom somewhere. Oh, I think that was it. So yeah, so we've spoken about the sound system just around the corner on St. Lawrence Road, St. Lawrence Terrace, obviously, and the parade route in Ladbroke Grove, but there's also another 3 sound systems in very close proximity. Roughly the R of Portobello Road, the W of Gorebourne Mews, and roughly just outside of 349, that'd be Portobello Road as well. Just at the top of the screen there, running along Portobello Road, there's another 3 sound systems there, and there's also a number of street trading stores, I believe, along St. Lawrence Terrace, pretty much where it says St. Lawrence Terrace, just down there. So it's not just those the singular sound system around the corner that's going to add to congestion area. There's actually, in theory, 4 sound systems in very close proximity, the parade route and a number of street trading stores, so the area is going to be heavily congested. and not allowing this tenant, in our view, would feed into the wider drive to improve safety and promote the licensing objectives in Carnival. Like I said, I won't take up too much more of your time because Mr. Rankin has said pretty much what I would want to say as well. So I'll leave it there for now and ask for any questions.
Okay, thank you. So councillors, Councillor Lucy Knight first.
No, I've got no further questions.
Okay, Councillor Toby Benton.
Yes, I'll be quicker this time. Thank you, Chair. Just because obviously the very closely nearest the police's objections from environmental health. But just to ask the same question I asked then, is there a difference? Would your complaints or would your concerns be mitigated by moving part of the operation or the operation indoors, or anything like that? Is there a way that you would see it working?
Obviously, clearly, I'm not an expert in crime and disorder. Obviously, that is the police, but I would suggest that inviting people into your home or a relative's home at Carnival is probably not a very good idea. People who are intoxicated through drinking drugs and you're inviting them into your home. I think that I'd refer to Donna and Mr. Rankin on that, but I think that would not be a good idea in relation to crime and disorder specifically. I think it's only asking for trouble in a residential property like that. There have been, like Mr. Rankin said, business premises who wanted to have an external operation, and we've mitigated that by having them bring it inside, but that is restaurants and things that do that on a day-to-day basis anyway. I think it's a bit of a different operation to inviting somebody into your home.
Well, I mean, it has been done. I mean,
it has been done,
and it is a communal hall where I think we're talking about, which would be quite well separated. I mean, my question really is it conceivable? Is there a version that it could be conceivable not to commit to something now?
I think no. I'd say no. I think the main issue again, like the police have said, is in relation to safety and things, is the queuing, the steps. I mean, yeah, I would say inviting people in isn't going to resolve the issue around people on stairs, people queuing. In fact, it could make it worse because you've got more space to allow people to queue more.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I don't have any questions. All right, any questions from our legal advisor?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Not the question as such, but just to remind, as you know, the test under the Act is the promotion of the licence and their objectives, and that's your number one focus. So that's the promotion of public safety, prevention of crime and disorder, and prevention of public nuisance. Thank you.
And not the promotion of the nighttime economy. Yes, we've gone through this quite a few times. Thank you.
Thank you. And then any questions from the premises user? So Michael, any questions for environmental health?
Mr. Philip Richardson, do you have an idea, because you mentioned 3 other sound systems that you claim to be close to St. Michael's Gardens? How close or how far are they in the proximity? Do you have any approximate distance?
I don't have it to hand, but I can get it for you after this if you wish. I don't know whether it's possible for me to share my screen and I can show you the rough locations. I don't know whether that's acceptable, Chair.
So, I mean, we have Appendix G, which has on the paperwork. Yeah. So maybe that's what's that, page 39. So it kind of shows. So this is, yeah, there are a few things around it. We have seen this. Just if that helps anybody. But yes, I think page 39. Very small writing. 39. I know you're getting there. And then, yeah, if you go down a bit more, we're in it, but no, that was way too much. literally up a tiny bit more, because it's at the top of your screen. No, as in we want more of the upper bit of the map.
Where the yellow bit
So,
is
yeah.
at the top of the map.
Yes, exactly. So it's on the left hand side of that yellow bit, near the sort of green dot, and up there. They're all there. If that.
Yeah, so you can see them there. So you've got Saxon Sound, and then just above it is the premises location. Then you've got Artsalite, the Latin Rave, Street Jam, and Gladiwax Sound, all in very close proximity. And also you can see there just below where it says Saxon Sound is the marking up for street trading as well. So it just shows how busy that area is. And obviously further down there's all street trading as well. I think it's greeny brown coloured line. So I haven't got full measurement distances, but I can get them after this meeting if you want them. But yeah, it'll take me a little while to do that, but I can get them if need be.
Okay. So basically, I think what is the general gist is, if there's a sound system at the end of a street, kind of, that's what's called close proximity. Is that where we're at? So I think it's important for Michael Sherman to understand that, if that's any help. Yeah. Anybody?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. Okay. So, any more questions?
No, because my question hasn't been answered. He doesn't know what is close, what is far away, or how close these sound systems are to St. Michael's Gardens. Because from my experience of going carnival, the sound system it's a carnival. The whole thing is about music. So there's sound systems literally everywhere. So my next question to Philip Richardson is, where in the carnival is not close to a sound system? Because from my experience, sound systems are everywhere, and you cannot get away from music in carnival. That's literally the whole point of carnival. It's a music festival, but I'm being penalized because I want to set up my 10 close to a sound system. But I mean, well, that's contradictory. You're saying it's too close to a sound system in a music festival. So that's my question.
Yeah, there's plenty of areas. There's plenty of areas in carnival that aren't particularly close to sound systems. Obviously, the music it's loud everywhere because music travels, but the actual locations of sound systems, there are plenty places that aren't within very close proximity within the carnival footprint. Obviously, I can't give you exact locations now because it will take me a while to work some out. But yeah, there are places that aren't directly next to sound systems.
Okay, so being directly close to a sound system is the issue. So if it's within a proximity, then that's fine, but it can't be directly close to a sound system. Is that correct? But I need guidelines for next year when I make more applications. So
can I just interrupt there? I think he's answered it as best he's going to be able to answer it. However, if you for future years, if you liaise directly with Notting Hill Carnival Limited, you're going to find it actually an easier way, because they'll account for your business module to be part of the carnival. You know what I mean? But I don't think he's able to give you like it's a 10 meters or a 5 meters. I think any street, that's what I'm getting for it. So I don't really want to repeat the same thing again, because I just don't think you're going to get the number you want. You know what I mean?
I'd also suggest contact whoever your ward councillors are, especially if it's in North Kent, and if you in future would like support leading into that sort of thing. I mean, I don't know who they are, but that to try and we want to avoid this kind of thing if possible.
Chair, just while you were talking there, I did a quick on our mapping software, a quick as the crow flies measurement to the 3 other sound systems, and they're 85, 76 and 125 meters. But that's a quick as the crow flies. It's not 100% accurate, but yeah.
Okay. Does that satisfy your answer, Michael?
Somewhat. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Do you have any other questions for environment, or we move on?
No more questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right. So, any questions from our legal advisor?
No questions, Madam Chair.
Okay, and any questions? Oh, wait, I already did that. Sorry. All right, so we're at the end now. At this stage, I'd like to ask our legal advisor to deal with any further queries. That was kind of where I was getting at. Anything?
No, I think everything's been covered, Madam Chair.
Okay, cool. Do our licensing officers have anything to add?
Chair, just for your information, I'd just like to clarify that the number of days notice required by the council are 2 days where a police objection had been received. That's under the hearings regulations of 2005 for licensing.
Okay, thank you. Noted. Do our governance officers have anything to add?
Nothing to add, Madam Chair.
Okay, thank you. We've reached the end of this meeting. The committee now has all the information needed, and we will retire to make our decision in private session. We will reconvene this hearing in 10 minutes to verbally announce the decision. When we return, we'll give you more info. All right, thank you so much, guys. We've got 10 minutes and we'll be back here. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
can confirm I am now reconvening the meeting. Is everyone present?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes, Chair.
All right. So the committee has considered objections from the police and environmental health to a temporary events notice, which has been given to Mr. Michael Sharman for the sale of retail of alcohol on and off the premises, and at the above premises, which I'll just read out to you: Flat C, 6 St Michael's Gardens, London, W10 5SP. On Sunday the 24th of August from 12 to 1900, and Monday the 25th of August from 12 to 1900, both 2025, for a maximum number of 15 people. The committee has considered the committee papers and submissions made by the parties, both orally and in writing. In reaching this decision, the committee has had regard to the relevant legislation, the Secretary of State's guidance, the authority's statement of licensing policy. In summary, the committee decided that after taking into account all individual circumstances in the case and the prevention of crime and disorder, prevention of public nuisance and public safety licensing objectives, to issue a counter notice under Section 105 of the Licensing Act 2003 for the event. This notice means permission for the licensable activity requested in the temporary events notice has not been approved. The committee decided that allowing a temporary event notice in this instance would undermine the prevention of crime and disorder, public nuisance and public safety licensing objective, and it determined to issue a counter notice under Section 105 of the Licensing Act 2003. A copy of the reasoned decision will be provided without undue delay. If the premises user, police, environmental health would like to appeal against this decision, such appeals must be made to the magistrate's court within 21 days from date of notification of the full decision but in any event no later than 5 working days before the start of the proposed temporary event. Thank you so much. Bye, everybody.
I'm very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.